do an interview with him. Let me just tell you my introduction to Stan Lee. I'm 16 years old. I started collecting at about 15, 16. And so I become a fanatic. I start collecting everything that's on the marketplace. I'm also an athlete. I played Pac-10 baseball, right? I wanted to be center field for somebody, and I just wasn't good enough. But I ended up going down to Florida on a baseball tryout tournament, whatever, and we did our baseball stuff, and then we had to go to the hotel, and we had to catch a plane back, I'm Canadian, back up to Canada that night. And we go back to the hotel, and all of a sudden, for some of you older people out there, they used to, which is surprising when I look here, they used to hold these conventions in hotels, small little Holiday Inns, right? And they put up a little sign saying "Home Convention" down in that room. So it's true, some of you old folks, right? They used to be small. Yeah. So I'm at this Holiday Inn and I'm walking, and all of a sudden I see the sign that says Comic Convention. And I go, wow, what's the chances on my last day here in Florida I get to go to a convention, a comic book convention, the first one I ever went to. And they don't have a lot up in Canada at that point. I go in there, I meet a bunch of people, and then one of the booths that was table, maybe it was about half the size, it was sitting just outside, there's a guy there, Stan Lee. First time I met him. I'm 16 years old at that point. I stand off to the side for about an hour, and I just listen to him with his enthusiasm, and then, like any geeky fan, I basically asked the question that all of you guys would have asked. Is it okay if I sit here for the rest of the day next to you? And he went, yeah, sure, I don't care. So literally, ladies and gentlemen, he was here, his line was coming, and I was here. People kept asking who I was, and he'd be like, I don't know. I sat there as a 16-year-old just listening to all the questions that he got peppered with, and all the answers he gave. And as a guy that was, in a couple years, going to start sending out my samples, I learned more in those 2 or 3 hours that I just sat by his side. And I remember some of the answers. I actually started applying some of those answers onto my artwork, so that fast forward, I started sending off my samples with some of those answers that I heard in my head as a 16-year-old. I get a job, fast forward a little bit more, I'm doing Spider-Man, fast forward a little bit more, I get to meet Stan, and we've been fast friends ever since, which is why a lot of times he asks me to get up on stage here and help with the conversation, because he is very good, ladies and gentlemen, at making me understand that I am the Robin in the Batman and Robin partnership. He will always flex the symbol, and you'll see it a couple times here. I'm going to give a secret away because he's gonna come here, and he likes to make you guys feel good. He likes to make himself feel good. And then he didn't really care much about me, and so we'll have a bit of fun with that. Stan also, it was this interesting thing that we used to talk about when I was at my heyday doing Spider-Man, that we were talking about the movie coming up, and now we're going to go back for all you people who have obviously seen, let's instead of raising your hand who's seen the Spider-Man movie, let's ask the opposite. Who in this room has not seen a Spider-Man movie? Helen Keller on the back there. All right, so everybody's seen it. So what was happening was, I'm going back now 25 years now, maybe. I don't know if you guys know, but the franchise was in legal turmoil. What had happened was somebody owned the rights, and then about 6 other companies said that they owned the rights, and it was just a headache. And they couldn't get a Spider-Man movie off the ground for about a decade, right? For about a decade, they were fighting globally, 6 companies globally, because just when they tied all the rights up in the U.S., somebody then on the other side of the world said, no, I have the rights to Spider-Man. You can't make that movie. And the only reason I bring that up, it is one of the few times, matter of fact, maybe the only time, that I can say thank you to the lawyers. Because if they had made, no, here's why I say that. Because if they had made that movie back then, the technology wasn't there. It would have been nearly as cool back then. Because they can't do, and that would have been like 88 to 92 era. They couldn't have made the movies that they made today. So that they fought legally for 15 years and dragged it into the years 2000 and more. That movie now can look cool. So for the lawyers out there, thank you, because it's going to be the only company that thank you for giving me a big argument because it made the Spider-Man movie much better. Now, for me, in my Spider-Man days, here's how it sort of went, ladies and gentlemen. I got the job of Spider-Man. Spider-Man, it may seem sort of odd, was not even a top 10 selling book at that point at Marvel. The sales had been plummeting. And they came in, and it was a good time to be there, right? I'm going to give you a guy the word of advice. If you're ever going to take over a job, make sure you take over the job of the guy who just did a horrible version of it. You look good. You look good. Never follow Jim Lee or Frank Miller or any of those guys. Never follow the big shots, right? Always follow the small shots because you always look better. I always say, you want to look smart, hang around dumb people or 5-year-olds, right? You always look like a genius. You hang around 5-year-olds, you go 4 times 4, 16. Come on. So I was on the book, and the luck that I had was that they said, the book is not selling, do something. So this is weird. If I had actually come on the book at a time that the book was selling, they wouldn't have said that. They would have basically said, just keep doing what was successful, the guys before you. And so they came there, and they said, do whatever you want to do. I had the fortune to be able to do it for a couple of years, and I was able to make a decent career. And with that, let's talk about the man who actually co-created Spider-Man. There's nobody in this room who has not been touched by the gentleman I'm going to bring up here real quick, so we won't belabor the point. He is, ladies and gentlemen, truly, he's a living legend. You can't say that about too many people. This man is a living legend. Everybody in this room is here for a reason, because somewhere along the line, this man's creation has touched your life. And there's not a creative person that's in that room down below who also hasn't touched him. He's co-created Iron Man, Thor, Fantastic Four, a bunch of the guys in the Avengers, Spidey. I mean, I'm going to miss the Hulk. I'm going to miss them all, right? So we're going to bring them out. But to you guys out there, especially the young kids, he's that old dude that's in all those those superhero movies, Mr. Stan Lee.
Listen to McFarlane for a while, because then you'll appreciate me when I... Oh! Forgive me, I know it must have been an ordeal for you, but at least now we're on the right track. Why are you there and I'm here?
No,
why aren't we together?
I'm moving his back so that people don't have to look at the corner of the table. Here, come sit down, we'll have a chat.
Are you going to sit down?
We'll be like between two firms.
Sit at the table?
Between two firms, sit down.
I need protection of a table in front of me. You're too vulnerable this way.
Okay, so let's ask the first obvious question that they're all begging to ask you right now, Stan. What's it like being you?
Describe it. The glory, the grandeur. What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know if you guys know, Stan was in San Francisco yesterday, throwing out the first pitch at the Giants game.
Oh, the San Francisco Giants.
Right. To actor Michael Rooker from Walking Dead is down here. And Michael had been sitting down in the green room making excuses why he couldn't catch Stan's fastball.
I begged Michael to be here instead of, what's his name, but Michael obviously had more important things to do. I get stuck with, I'll remember your name soon. What did you do again?
I just copied some of the crap you did.
This guy did the best-selling Spider-Man book of all time.
So look, everybody, whether you're old or you're young, at some point you got to go out into the world try to get a job, right? I mean, arguably one of the most difficult things you have to do. I've written before how I got rejected hundreds of times. So see if you can just tell people how you got your introduction into the business and how tough of a road it was and how many doors you got closed on your face before. They finally
That
said,
was easy for me. I started out as a lowly assistant. People realized how brilliant I was. I was the editor and art director. See, he's got to learn how to cut a story short. I heard him before going on and on and on with his history, and I heard the sound of snoring in the audience. And I said, I've got to come up here and rescue you, because I care for you people.